Hey friends, welcome back. I'm so glad that I get to see you this week. This week's art lesson is about really getting back into the swing of things with our routine in school and then getting our hands and our brains used to drawing again. Also, thinking about having a positive outlook. Outlook is the way you look at something on this year. So, when we're doing this, while we're first drawing the picture, I want you to be thinking about something. We are going to either be making a list of goals or things that we are hoping to do in this coming year, or we can make a list of things that we are thankful for because it's really good for you emotionally, which means it makes you feel a lot better when you think about the things that you are glad that you have. A few quick reminders now that we're back to school. You guys can always come a few minutes early to our art class, but once it is time to start, that means it's time to mute our microphones and stop using the chat. I don't mind you guys using the chat and talking to each other before class and during our art time when I've finished giving directions, but during our instruction, it's very important that we're listening and making sure that others can listen too, because we only have art once a week and only for a few minutes, which means we need to make the most of our time. And if we're all talking over each other, we're not going to get very much done. Another reminder, make sure that if you have something to ask or to say during our Google Meet, that you are either raising your hand like this or pressing your button that shows the little white hand in the corner of the screen. Because if you keep interrupting me, then other people won't be able to hear what I'm saying, and I won't be able to hear what you're saying because we're talking over each other. And I promise, if I'm in the middle of giving you directions, I just might answer the question that you have if you're patient. And if I don't answer that question, you can always raise your hand and ask as soon as we have a moment. During our art class, it is very important that you always have your materials ready to go, which means you already went to the bathroom, you already got some water, you have something to write with, something to write on, and some colors if possible. If you don't have any art materials, we can always use Seesaw to do your assignment. If you don't have any art materials and you need to use Seesaw, make sure you tell me so that I know that's what you're doing if you're not holding up your work when everybody else is. All right, I started by drawing a horizontal line with two lines going down. Remember, if you need to pause and do this, definitely do that. I'm using a pencil so that I can erase if I need to. Then I'm drawing 4 little ovals on the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm doing the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4 ovals. And now I'm going to get my eraser and erase the line that goes over my ovals so that it looks like I have fingers holding on to my paper. Once I have erased that, I will be ready to add something else. All right, now I'm going to make it look like I have little fingernails. So I'm drawing little curved lines on each of my fingers so that it looks like I have fingernails. Next, I'll be ready to draw my head or the top of my head. You'll be drawing your self-portrait here. But the nice thing is it's just from here up. So I'm doing my 2 rainbow shapes for my eyes. You can do your eyes in a different way if you'd like. And I'm going to draw some eyebrows. So more rainbow shapes on top. And my hairline. My hair comes down like this. But if you have curly hair, you can do curly hair. If you have short hair, you can draw short hair. It's up to you. And I'll bring an example here in a few minutes. I'm also going to do a little smiley face shape for the top of my nose, for the bottom of my nose. Now, I'm going to go over what I draw once I'm happy with it with something a little darker if you have it. I'm using a marker. You can use a pen, a crayon. It's totally up to you. But now that I've finished my sketch, I want to go over it so that it stands out or it's emphasized. Remember that word from last semester? Making something stand out. Now, once I have gone over all of my lines, I'm going to make a lined piece of paper. And the way I'm going to do that is by using what's called a straight edge, or anything that's straight. I'm using a piece of paper that I had lying around. The first line makes a nice big gap. The ones after it are a little bit skinnier. I'm being careful to hold that paper still with one hand while I trace with the other one. You can do this with your pencil first. I think I just got into a little bit of a rush this time, so I was using my marker right away. You don't have to do the lines all the way across your paper. If you think you'll write a little bit and then draw a picture on the bottom, you can leave the bottom of your paper blank so that you have more space to draw. I forgot to do this, so I ended up just drawing my picture over the lined paper, and that's all right too. Once you have created those lines, you have two choices. Number one, you could do what I'm doing here and write your 2021 goals. That means things that you want to do this year. For example, my first goal is to get up early so I can read a little bit more. My second goal is to go for more walks, especially with my family. And my third goal is to spend more time making art for me and less time on my phone. Don't write the same things as me unless it's really something you want to do. You can make your own goals. I want this to be your artwork. And once you've written your goals, you can go in and draw pictures of them. If you're having a hard time thinking of goals, you can just draw a picture of the way you want your year to go. Here's an example of how you could draw shorter hair if you wanted to make your little person look a little bit more like you. You can also do curly cues if you want to add some different texture to that hair. Your second choice, if you don't want to write goals, is you can either write or draw pictures of things that you are thankful for. Did you know that if you're ever feeling down or sad, that a great way to feel better is to think about the things that you are happy that you have? For example, for this list, I said that I am thankful for my family, my pets, a place to live, my friends who I can still talk to, and for computers that help us to still talk to each other and have school. The things you are thankful for might be a little different from mine, but that's all right. Remember, you can always draw a picture instead of writing your list, or you can do both, like I did. Here's your objectives. Number 1, I can practice coming back to class and following directions. Number 2, I can write or draw a list of goals for this year or things that I am thankful for. Los objetivos en español. Número 1. Yo puedo practicar, ir a la clase y seguir indicaciones. Número 2. Yo puedo escribir o dibujar una lista de metas para este año o cosas de las que estoy agradecido.